Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we will comparing two of the most popular lenses by Sony and Sigma, the Sony 24-70 F4 Zeiss lens and the Sigma 28-70 F2.8 lens. The two lenses are comparable in size and weight. Furthermore, both have the same filter thread of 67mm and they are weatherproof. However, there are some differences. The Zeiss lens has 4mm more on the wide end and it is stabilized. With a max aperture of f2.8, the Sigma lens has an aperture stop more than the Sony lens with f4. Therefore, the Sigma lens is better in low light and for portraits. Furthermore, it has an AF/MF switch. With a minimum focus distance of just 19 cm, you can almost take some pretty cool macro shots like this, because the object is almost in front of the lens. This is not possible with the Zeiss lens. It has only a minimum focus distance of 40 cm. But let's get to the interesting part. The side-by-side comparison. Have fun! Okay, back with our side-by-side comparison. We see here on the left Sony 24-70 with 24mm and on the right side the 28-70 with 28mm. As always, I've set on both lenses the same settings. We have here an aperture of 7.1 and the ISO on 100, and I've set the same focus point manually to get the similar results. Okay, on the first look, both images looks very good. Of course, the 24mm is a little bit wider than the 28mm. This is a difference that you will get. Let's go on 100%. Yeah, on the mid frame, the Sigma is definitely sharper at 28. Let's go to the edges. Oh yeah, the 24-70 is softer than the Sigma 28-70 on the edges. Let's go on the mid frame. And here the same result. The Sigma lens is very sharp from the middle to the edges at the widest end. Let's compare 50mm. On the first look, I can't see so much differences. Both looks sharp. Maybe the Sony 24-70 a little bit sharper and much more contrast here. But let's go on 100% on the middle. On the middle, I think the Sigma, again, it's a little bit sharper and much more contrast. Yes, of course. In the mid frame, the Sigma lens is sharper. Let's go to the edges. Okay. The edges, clear winner is the Sony 24-70. The Sigma lens is here very soft, less contrast. Yeah. Get the same result. Here you see the structure on the 24-70 at 50mm. Let's go on mid frame. The mid frame, I don't know, very similar. Maybe the Sigma lens a little bit sharper, but I think both lenses in the mid frame similar. Let's switch to 70mm. Okay, on the first look, both looks very good. I can't see any difference, but let's go on 100%. The mid frame, yeah, the mid frame, this Sigma is sharper here in the mid frame. Much more contrast, much more sharpness, but not so much difference. So there are not so much differences. Let's go to the edges. Oh, here again. Wow, I didn't expect this. The Sony is still sharp and the Sigma is very soft at 70mm. Wow, it's very surprising for me. Wow, great performance from the 24 to 70. Let's go to the mid frame. Here again, I think the mid frame, again, they are very similar. I can't see any difference. That's difficult to see. If we go to the edges, this Sigma here is very weak here on the edges, but very good performance from the Sony lens. From the middle to the edges, sharpness. But this Sigma lens is always sharper in the middle in every focal length here. So let's switch to the portrait comparison. So this is the bokeh that you get if you compare F4 to F2.8. Both looks very good on the first look, but the bokeh on the 24 to 70 are much more rounder than on the 2.8 28 to 70 Sigma lens, but I see here some onion rings. Yeah, and on the Sigma a little bit, but not so strong like on the Sony lens. Let's compare the sharpness. I've set the focus point on the eye, and what we see here, that the Sony lens is again sharper. Wow, I didn't expect this either. Don't get me wrong, both lenses are sharp, but the Zeiss lens, very good performance. Let's switch on F4, and now the bokeh are very similar. Let's see if we can get a performance on the Sigma lens. The sharpness, no. Both are sharp, but the Sony is a little bit sharper, but only a little bit. Let's compare the bokeh boards. Yeah, on bokeh the Sigma makes a very good job. Welcome back. To be honest, I didn't expect this result. I'm a little disappointed of the Sigma lens. Maybe you have seen some of my old reviews, so you know that the Sigma lens is one of my favorite lenses. It's sharper than the Zeiss lens at the wide end, but the Zeiss lens is sharper at 50 and 70mm, especially at the edges. But I will stay with my Sigma 28 to 70mm, because the f2.8 are important to me. When I'm shooting landscapes with 28mm, I usually use an aperture of f7.1 or more. For 70mm portraits I prefer the f2.8 because it separates the foreground better from the background, it has a better bokeh, and the sharpness at the edges are not important to me in this case. Nevertheless, I'm very surprised by the 24 to 70 F4 Zeiss lens, and I didn't thought that this lens has such good image performance, especially when I'm shooting with 42 megapixel. What are your thoughts about these two lenses? Please write them in the comments down below. It would be very interesting to me to hear your point of view. If you like this test, I would appreciate if you can leave a like and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.